What was initially intended to be just another stop on the Grand National Tour transformed into an extraordinary event at Stadio Olimpico in Rome, Italy, becoming a moment of significant cultural impact. The city buzzed with excitement long before the first note was played, and even before Kendrick Lamar took the stage, the Roman audience had already etched their place in history. By the way, welcome to Celebrity Hip Hop Showroom, where hip hop and celebrity drama never sleep, so hit that subscribe button so you never miss the mess. Let's get into it. On this day, the ground would tremble under a different kind of gathering, tens of thousands of music enthusiasts converging at Circus Maximus, eager to witness a modern spectacle, Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour in the Eternal City. From the moment the gates opened, the atmosphere was electric, an energy as timeless as Rome itself, reignited by a fresh communal celebration. By late afternoon, the area in front of the stage had transformed into a vibrant mosaic of t-shirts and homemade signs, prominently featuring the names Kendrick and SZA. Street vendors maneuvered through the crowd, selling flares, scarves, pizza slices, and plastic horn flutes. The scent of espresso mingled with a hint of adrenaline. Occasionally, a wave of excitement swept through the audience, building in intensity until it enveloped the entire arena. Then it happened. Without any warning lights or opening acts, just pure anticipation, the crowd began to do the wave. Hands rose in unison, moving from one side to the other, faster and higher with each cycle. As the final wave returned to its starting point, the crowd erupted into a unified chant. Kendrick! 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 The name echoed off the ancient walls, as if the spirits of gladiators and emperors were cheering along. For Kendrick, waiting backstage, this moment was a validation of all the months of preparation, the miles traveled, and the countless venues. Rome was ready. He stepped onto the stage, his silhouette illuminated by swirling clouds of dry ice. The crowd's roar was overwhelming. He launched the show with "Squabble Up," the bold horns and booming drums hitting like a Roman battle horn. The audience matched him line for line, their voices creating a living rhythm. Phones lit up the night like stars, each screen reflecting the shared experience. Hearing an entire ancient city shout Kendrick's lyrics back at him felt like a time warp, history and modernity colliding in a joyful explosion. Between songs, Kendrick took a moment to soak in the atmosphere. To his right, someone had set off a flare that burst into a towering orange flame, with smoke rising into the sky. It was visible even from behind the stage, a timeless signal. Soon after, a second flare ignited near the central tower, followed by a third. While they weren't loud enough to be dangerous, their presence was unmistakable, a more powerful tribute than any banner or poster. How they got past security was a mystery, but at that moment, it didn't matter. The crowd was showing their loyalty through smoke and light. As the flares lit up the scene, Kendrick transitioned into euphoria. The bass line throbbed like a heartbeat, building tension as he delivered his verses with ritualistic precision. The smoke from the flares curled around his feet, creating an almost mythical image. He moved across the stage as if he were conducting an orchestra of youthful dreams and lifelong beliefs. The audience's reaction was a cathartic release, every eye closed, every hand raised, every voice echoing the word, euphoria, until it felt like a breath. But Kendrick wasn't done yet. He then launched into Family Ties, featuring Baby Keem. The sudden shift in tempo and the lively chorus sparked another surge of excitement. Fans pressed closer to the barricade, chanting every line. "I like Drake with the melodies," Kendrick rapped. "I don't like Drake when he act tough." For a brief moment, the band fell silent, leaving only the crowd's roar before he finished his thought. The chant that followed was a mix of defiance and celebration. In that moment, Rome, a city shaped by centuries, transformed into a family united by rhythm and rebellion. He paused again to speak directly to the crowd. "This one's for Rome," he declared, his voice resonating like a gospel bell. The audience responded not with cheers, but with a familiar soccer chant, "Ole, ole, ole." Their timing was perfect, 3 rounds of the chant building to a crescendo that echoed beyond the stadium. In Rome, soccer and hip-hop share the same language, a communal heartbeat. With arms raised high in every color of the stadium, Kendrick launched into BDKMV. The heavy, rolling beat radiated confidence. When the chorus hit, thousands of lips formed the acronym in unison, each syllable pulsing through the crowd like a single voice. If you looked up from the stage, the entire plaza seemed to hum as one, moving together in a ritualistic celebration. As the night went on, he explored deeper narrative tracks. The storytelling of Duckworth, the introspection of Sing About Me, and the triumphant spirit of All Right. Each song created its own atmosphere, blending into the next until the line between performer and audience completely disappeared. If Squabble Up was the battle cry, All Right served as the blessing, a promise that in the arena of life, victory is shared. Occasionally, he would step closer to the edge of the stage, reaching out to the audience. Phones brushed against his fingertips, fans called out his name, and in that brief moment where flesh met technology, the divide between star and crowd vanished. He smiled, aware of the moment's importance. This was a shared experience, not merely a performance. Meanwhile, SZA waited backstage for her turn. As Kendrick wrapped up DN with its powerful climax, the lights shifted, and the opening of Kiss Me More washed over the audience like a refreshing breeze. SZA emerged on stage in a flowing red silk dress that sparkled in the light. The transition from Kendrick's intense energy to her smooth vibe was seamless, as if the entire evening had been crafted to merge both styles. During her performance, flares continued to ignite, each one celebrated rather than quelled. Security appeared hesitant to intervene, showing an unspoken respect for the collective expression. SZA seized this moment, encouraging the crowd to sway amidst the smoke, creating an atmosphere reminiscent of a vibrant Renaissance painting filled with color and contrast. When they reunited for All the Stars, the duo stood together, their voices blending into a powerful force that outshone the flares. The audience's phones lit up like fireflies, and SZA raised her arms gracefully. When Kendrick's verse began, the stadium erupted once again. It was a perfect blend, melody and rhythm, soul and style. Then came a shift with Gloria. The lights dimmed, the tempo slowed, and the crowd felt a deeper connection. Intimate moments unfolded, tears were shed, memories stirred, and the stage became a confessional space. No flares this time, only the raw flicker of emotion reflected in thousands of uplifted faces. The final surge arrived with Not Like Us. By then, the audience was primed. When the opening chords played, it felt as if they had been waiting for that one powerful sound their entire lives. Bodies collided in mosh pits, arms shot up, and the stadium trembled under the collective roar. If Family Ties had been the anthem of family, this was the battle cry, united, defiant, unstoppable. Rome poured its heart into the event. Flares, chants, waves, and tears. As the final note faded, the crowd was determined to hold onto the moment. Kendrick, SZA, Kendrick, SZA, rang out into the night, a chant that echoed off the walls like a prayer. The lights came back on, but the energy remained. Fans lingered, singing bits of songs, savoring the aftereffects. Outside, street musicians joined in with DNA, while buskers played Kendrick songs on violins and guitars, and journalists hurried to capture the magic. In cafes and on balconies, discussions centered not on traffic or restaurants, but on the concert, about the flares that represented devotion, the soccer chants that bridged cultures, and Kendrick and SZA's remarkable ability to enchant a city that once seemed too ancient for new legends. That night in Rome was more than just a concert. It was a fusion of history and modernity, culture and community, passion and courage. With 5 more shows left on the Grand National Tour, Rome would always be remembered as the night when an ancient city burst with energy, honored its heroes, and felt the promise of the future in every lighter held high. For Kendrick and SZA, it proved that the essence of a performance is found not in the venue, but in the hearts of those who gather to listen, sing, and be part of something timeless. This is the true spirit of the tour, and in Rome, it resonated more powerfully than ever. For Kendrick Lamar, with only 2 shows remaining, the bar had been raised even higher. Rome didn't just attend, it left a lasting impact. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.